Hey kids, hey kids, hey kids, hey kids, you all know what time it is. It's time for Karch
and Wendy
and Bluster
and Bliss
to tell you what today's adventure is.
Hey kids,
Hey kids,
hey kids,
hey kids, you all know what time it is. Story of Chiller, a Gallery of Season story. Winter World 2 by Brian J. Klink. Hi, my name is Chiller. I am known as the most evil resident here in Winterworld. Some of you might recall my appearance in Winterworld Story 1, Reflection Ridge. I'm here to tell you even more about our cold and colorful place, Winterworld. Also to share with you some Winterworld secrets. Winterworld is one of 4 worlds found in the Gallery of Seasons. There is also Spring World, Summer World, and Autumn World. Each of the 4 worlds is separate from the others except for passage through the Ring of Unity. But that's a story for another day. Let's return to today's Winterworld adventure. You see, I wasn't always the angry and evil creature that haunts the residents of Winterworld. I was young once and happy many centuries ago. Back then, Winterworld was quite different. Today, Winterworld is a fantastic place with the Great Mountain, Frostbite Forest, Rapid River, Reflection Ridge, and the Fork of Fate. But none of these were here until the transformation. Back then, Winterworld looked more like this. It was a simple, more barren place, still beautiful and cold, but without any of the landscape features found here today. It was controlled by the powerful Lord Blizzard. Also back then, we sky dragons were the main Winterworld inhabitants. It was glorious. We soared the skies and loved living in Winterworld. But as I said, that was before the transformation. Now you should know that the transformation didn't happen all at once. It took many millions of years for Winterworld to look like it does today. The first part of the transformation was the foothills. They were actually a nice addition for us sky dragons. Next came the creation of the Great Mountain and Rapid River. This era was a hard time for sky dragons, and many of us didn't survive. Those of us who remained missed our friends and relatives and the good times of the past. It was also during this time when some new Winterworld creatures appeared. At first, there were only a few new residents living with us in Winterworld, but soon they began taking over what had once been all ours. It was concerning. Then there were a few more. Some lived on land, others lived in the water. A few could even fly, like me. Winterworld was changing so fast, and we sky dragons had lost control. Finally, over time, there were just too many new creatures for us to cope. And one day I realized I might be the only remaining sky dragon left in Winterworld. At first I was sad, and then I became angry. I felt betrayed. One day I made a vow that as possibly the last sky dragon, I would torment these invasive creatures and take back the land that had been my ancestors'. It was my birthright. While I wanted to take immediate action, it became clear that I would need a plan. And to accomplish my goal to recapture Winterworld, it would likely take time. So I returned to the great mountain foothills and moved into a cave my ancestors once lived in. And that is where I stay today. To start my plan, I needed to learn more about these new creatures living in Winterworld. So, inside my cave, I began identifying the new residents. It became clear that there are two leaders, Bluster and Teal. I drew pictures of them on my cave wall, along with their names, to help me remember them. Over time, I was able to document the other residents in Winterworld, at least so far. I now had pictures of all of them on my cave wall and became familiar with their habits. Clearly, it was not going to be an easy task to regain control over Winterworld. So, that's the story of Chiller. Now you know how he was happy when he was young and how the transformation changed Winterworld forever. You also learned that he lives in a cave and his anger is from missing his friends and family from the old days. Finally, you got to see the Winterworld residence on his cave wall. All of us here in Winterworld hope you enjoyed our time together and look for more adventures from the Gallery of Seasons. There are 9 Winterworld inhabitants in today's story. Can you see them all in the Winterworld painting? We hope so. Stay happy.